Hello, my loves. Hello, hello. Welcome in, welcome in. So, if you are here, then you are looking to learn the three key strategies that you need to actually be successful selling digital products. And that's exactly what I'm going to teach you here today. But more importantly, I want to show you how to do it without having to have crazy income claims or anything weird. I want to make sure that you know how to do it even as a complete beginner and all the things. So that way you can actually be successful. So, if you're someone who already has digital products, you've been trying to sell them and it hasn't quite been working, then you're in the right place. And then also, if you are someone who doesn't have a digital product yet at all, and you maybe have too many ideas or not enough ideas, either way, you're still in the right place because I'm going to show you how to be successful regardless. But if you are someone that doesn't actually like to learn things, who doesn't want to implement anything that you're learning, who doesn't want to see other people get help and learn knowledge so that they can be successful, then you're not in the right place. But make sure that you actually pay attention to everything that I'm about to show you and what I'm about to teach you, because these are the strategies that I have found, even in my own business, have helped me be successful, even whenever I was first starting out. And everyone that you see that is basically a six-figure and beyond earner, these are the same strategies that they're following as well, even if they don't know how to vocalize it. Because I know whenever I first started, I didn't know how to put this out in words. Like, I didn't know how to say it. But now that I'm a mentor, I'm a coach, I'm all the things, I had to figure out how I could actually say these things in a way that other people could understand it as well. And if you're new, maybe you haven't ever seen me before. My name is Rye, just so you know, the creator of Rapid Digital Product Mastery. And just a little background about myself so you know that you can trust what I'm about to say, not to brag or anything like that, but just so you know that you're in good hands right now. So out of all the content that I've created online, I've had hundreds of millions of views. I've generated over 90,000 followers across multiple platforms. You probably found me on TikTok, maybe not. I've made over $200,000 online. I've created thousands of social media posts of my own, and I've mentored over 300 people just like you to help them be successful in their digital product journey as well. So that's just a little backstory about myself, just so you know that what I'm about to teach you, just implement what I'm telling you, and you will be successful. So I just want you to think of, by summertime, it's only March right now, but I just want you to imagine what it would be like by summer if you could finally figure this out. Because you know that digital products are definitely the way to go. But maybe you just haven't figured out that path that you need to be following to actually get there. You probably tried other courses and things before. You probably had failed mentors before. You probably had all the things. But just know that what you're about to learn are the things that you actually needed to know from the beginning. And I've actually heard a lot of times from people that end up getting inside my mentorship or inside my community. They're like, oh, I wish I would have known this from the beginning. So even if you're someone who wants to learn how to be successful without income claims and without having tons of followers, even if you're someone who's invested in mentors before that ended up ghosting you, and even if you have one of those hefty courses with 200 modules and 93,000 hours worth of content, even if you've had all of those things and still feel lost and confused and overwhelmed and aren't successful in ways that you want to be at, just know that what I'm about to teach you is probably not what you have seen in any of those other things. And that is a big reason why I see so many people that aren't successful. So a better strategy, which is what I'm going to teach you today, is actually understanding the concepts of why people will buy from you, even though you don't have results. Because, like for me, I got my very first course back in December of 2023, and I just thought it was, listen, I got it from this stay at home mom who was making 50K, who had made 50K in just a few weeks. And so I was like, oh my gosh, I could do that and change my life. And I fell flat on my face. It did not work at all. And so the creator of that course, she wasn't the creator, she was just an affiliate. The creator of that course, she took everybody's money and then threw us all into this Facebook group, and we basically all had to fend for ourselves. Like, we didn't have any extra mentorship, we actually didn't have any help. And so because it did not turn out the way that I thought it was supposed to turn out, and I ended up giving up altogether. But much like you, I started for a reason. I started because I wanted extra income, and then once I started again, I got a different program, different course, all the things. Once I started again, I changed my mindset. Like, okay, I see all these people that are making tens of thousands of dollars every week or every month. Maybe that won't be me, but let me just start from the beginning. What if I could just make an extra 500 a month? That would still pay some bills for me, but even throughout my journey, I still felt like something was missing. I felt like I was constantly spinning my wheels and being stuck in mud. That's probably how you might be feeling too, which is why you ended up on this masterclass in the first place. I was posting 3 times a day. I wasn't confident enough to go live. I was doing everything that everyone else was doing, and all the things that I saw were supposed to be successful, but it wasn't working. And my life continued to crumble. Like my family continued to be in the hole, struggling to get out of it. And we were actually facing bankruptcy, about to lose a house, about to lose our car, about to lose basically everything. And I've got 2 small kids, so that was not an option. My husband was working long 12 to 18-hour backbreaking labor days. And I was like, listen, if he's willing to do that, I need to figure out what else I'm willing to do outside of my 9 to 5 to bring in some extra income, because there's only so many hours in a day. We got to figure out a way to get ahead a lot faster. Does that make sense? You're probably feeling that same way. That's probably why you started trying to sell digital products in the first place, anyways. So what I did is I researched all the people that were making 6 figures and beyond to figure out what was the commonality between all of them, because they all looked different. They all had different stories. But there had to be something that all of them were doing that made them successful. And that's the thing that I wanted to figure out. And so once I kind of like found out what all of them were doing and put the puzzle pieces together, once I started implementing the strategies, which are the same thing that I'm about to teach you right now, then it actually started working. And so whenever that happened, I was able to not only leave my 9 to 5 altogether to sell digital products full time. I tripled my annual salary, what I used to would have made. And I've mentored over 300 people since then, like how I mentioned before. And so I've been able to take my family on vacations. I've been able to do all the things similar to how you hear people that talk about being successful selling digital products. But more importantly, we were actually able to breathe again. And I know that somebody listening to me right now just wants to be able to breathe. You just want a little bit, even just a little bit of weight lifted up off of your shoulders. And that would be enough for it to be worth it for you. We were able to finally experience life and not just live it, not just survive it. We were able to sit by the water and feed the ducks. We have the biggest Christmas that my kids have ever had since they have been born. We've been able to actually just like look up at the clouds and just enjoy life, just breathe the air and enjoy it while we're doing it, as opposed to my mind constantly racing, wondering how I'm going to pay the next bill, looking at my calendar to say, oh my gosh, I got 2 more days and then rent is due, but I don't have any rent money. Instead of constantly being on that grind, we were able to finally calm down and actually live life. And I know that if you're watching this, then that is probably your goal too. The dollar amount and all that stuff sounds cool, but what you really want is the freedom to choose what it is that you want to do in life, the freedom to be able to put whatever you want to in your shopping cart and not have to check your bank account first before you order it, to be able to go out to eat or do whatever it is that you want to do with your family, book the vacation, book the trip, go get the massage, go get your nails done, go get your hair done, just do whatever and not have to think so hard about it or budget it before you actually do it. We want to live life and not survive it. And I know that if you've made it even this far in this masterclass so far, then that's probably your goal too. But once I started mentoring so many different people being successful, I found that doing the one-on-one, it wasn't as efficient, and it was taking a lot more time than what I wanted to. So then I wasn't able to serve as many people. So instead, I decided to create a framework that anyone, including you, could use. So that way, even as a complete beginner that doesn't have any results yet, then you'll still be able to be successful. So what you're about to learn is everything that I've taken in the past 13 months, and with over $20,000 that I've invested, probably more than that at this point. I'm probably guessing low at this point, to figure this all out the hard way. But because you've made it this far, and if you stay to the end, then you're going to actually figure out how to do it the easy way. So let's jump in. These are going to be the 3 hidden strategies that no one really knows about how to be successful selling digital products, and how to generate massive amounts of money without having to have any income claims. Okay. And following these same strategies, like my girl Joyette inside my community, she sold multiple of her courses that she was an affiliate for, making like around $500 profit every sale. She sold 2 of those within a 24-hour period, so that was over $1,000. My girl Chantel, she was selling on an Etsy store, not a higher ticket course, but some products that she created of her own, some planners actually. And within 2 days, she had 7 orders and several leads on her Etsy store. And my girl Miss Lane, she within a week she sold 2 of her affiliate courses courses, which was $1,000 profit for her, following these exact same strategies. And plus, I'll tell you plenty more stories and of people that were successful following these things as well. But just like me forecasting what we're about to talk about, the first strategy that you'll learn is what I call my buyer shortcut system, and that's going to be a simple trick for you to spot the people who already want what it is that you have and want what it is that you want to sell them. The second secret or strategy is going to be my zero misleading claim strategy. So that way you know how to win over customers without having to talk about how much money you've made or without having to make any crazy claims. And then the third strategy is going to be my anti-competition formula. So that way you understand how to actually sell in a crowded market and be the first person that people run to without having to worry about how many sellers there are in your market or in your industry, because I don't believe there's a such thing as oversaturation, especially in the social media world. Okay. So the first secret, my buyer shortcut system. This is how you're going to spot people who already want what it is that you're selling. If you have not already gotten out your pen and paper, now is the time to do it. Okay. So the steps in this: number one, you're going to find your niche. Number two, you're going to find your buyers. And then number three, you're going to actually target them. So let me break that down. And this is something that I found that I watched all of the top sellers that I know that you have seen too. Because if you found me on TikTok, maybe that algorithm is so amazing, which we'll talk more about the algorithm here shortly. But it is so amazing that I know if you came across my profile, then you have probably came across dozens of other people that are selling digital products and they are massively successful, like 200K in 6 months, 100K in a few weeks, or 500K in the past 13 months, and all the different numbers. I know you've seen all of them. Okay. And so the way that that works is, number one, you have to understand what your niche is. Okay. You have to make sure that there's actually a market for your idea. So at this point, some of you already have a digital product. So I hope that you understand your niche. If you don't have a digital product yet, that's okay. Then you need to figure out a niche. And I know that that's like an overused term. And so it might be kind of scary to even hear that word niche, but it literally just means topic. Okay. What's going to be the main topic that you talk about? And you need to like it at least a little bit, because you're going to have to talk about it a lot. Okay. And then nextly, now we should all understand what our topic is, whether it's health, whether it's wealth, relationships, because everybody's got a health problem, everybody's got a wealth problem, everybody's got a relationship problem. So that's why those are typically the top ones, but there are also going to be subgroups within each one. So I like to, normally I have like a whiteboard behind me, but here we go. We got my hands. So your niche is the big bubble up here. But at the bottom, you'll see, have you ever seen one of those graphs where there's a big bubble and then there's a line that leads to multiple other smaller bubbles? Well, you need to find a smaller bubble. Choose one of the smaller bubbles, and then that's where you're going to find your success. And so that's what I mean by choosing a target. It has to be specific. If you just say, like, how to lose 10 pounds by summer, that's so broad. Like, who are you actually talking to? That's going to sound like an infomercial that we've all been listening to for the past 30 years. That's not going to attract anyone. If the title of your ebook or your digital product is how how to um how to how to gain 10 pounds of muscle in the next 6 weeks, that, I mean, like, that sounds great, but it's still not targeted enough for me to want to click on it, or for me to know for a fact that it's for me. Does that make sense? So instead of doing that, maybe you target, if your niche was health and wellness, maybe instead you target women over 50, or maybe you target men with low testosterone, or maybe if your niche is wealth, maybe instead of talking to people who want to make extra income, maybe you talk to people who want to learn a side hustle that can generate them an extra $100 a week. Maybe you talk to people who want to budget and save an extra $1,000 a month. You know what I'm saying? So you have to be, and specifically, those people are people that are super busy and have no time. So you got to add a couple extra indicators in your target or in your niche, so that way whenever someone stumbles across your video, the moment they hear you start talking or the moment they read that title, they know for a fact, absolutely, this is what I need to be watching. Absolutely, this is the digital product that I need to be using. Does that make sense? And so once you have your topic and you know what your smaller group of people is that you're going to be talking to, then you need to speak directly to the people who are ready to get off the fence. And this is one of the biggest things that I find that a lot of people struggle with, is if you think of I'll do it like this, like a funnel. Let me move my hand so you can see it. Like a funnel. Again, I told you I normally have my whiteboard. I should have pulled it out for this. But if you think of it like a funnel, normally people spend so much time talking to people at the top of the funnel, which is the largest group of people, that it's hard for them to catch anybody. Does that make sense? This group at the top is way too large. You need to talk to the people at the bottom of the funnel, because those people are right. If you think of like the money train is down at the bottom, those people at the bottom, they are so ready to buy. They know they have a problem. They're actively looking for a solution, and they're ready to spend money to solve that problem. Spend more time talking to them and getting them off of the fence, as opposed to talking to the people at the top who they don't even know that they have a problem yet. They're not actively looking for a solution. And even if they were looking for solutions, they're looking at 500 different things. They're definitely not looking at your solution. Speak directly to the people who want what you have. Someone I like to listen to, Myron Golden, he says, people would love to buy what you would love to sell if only they knew you existed. They will never know that you exist if you're talking to the wrong people, if you don't have a target. Does that make sense? So I also like to use an analogy of like, if your niche is like a big blue ocean, and then your target is like a smaller pond. A lot of people would think, well, right, I want everybody out of the big niche. I don't want to just limit myself to a smaller pond. But here's what happens. If you look at a map, okay, think of a map in your head. There's always like a lake or something on the map, but somehow there's always a river that connects it to the big ocean or to the big body of water, right? And so the reason why I tell you that it's still you will be fine talking to the smaller niche, to the smaller pond, is because what you'll find is that people from the larger group, they'll make their way into your target as well. So like whenever I tell my story about how I tried to sell digital products to help out my hardworking husband, you would think that I would only attract wives with hardworking husbands, but that's the furthest from the truth. I also attract men who are the hardworking husband, or just a man that's not married. I'll attract the women who are working too hard, whether or not they're married. They just want some extra income. I'll attract the people that are retired who aren't working at all and they just want some extra income. I attract the college student who's still in school and just wants to make some extra income to get them through school. I'll attract all of those people and everyone in between, but I still stick to my guns. I still speak directly to whoever it is that I'm speaking to, but everyone else still finds their way into my circle. Does that make sense? So, like following these same strategies, my girl Shamiga, after months and months of trying to sell her digital products, she went through my training, and before she even finished, she not only had full clarity on finally who her target was and who her audience was, but she had already started generating sales and leads before she even finished the things that I teach. Okay, so I'm telling you, if you follow that strategy, you will be successful so much faster than the average person who's still trying to talk to everybody in the niche and they can't stand out, which we'll talk more about standing out later. So if you're someone who's tired of spinning your wheels, you're not making sales, you're tired, you feel like you're begging people, you feel like you're too busy trying to convince people to listen to you, then this is probably what you need to be doing. You're probably talking to the wrong target. You're talking to the wrong audience, okay? So just a little recap. Find your topic or your niche, talk to whoever your buyers are, the people who already want it, and speak directly to them. Does that make sense? Okay, now moving on. The second strategy, remember, listen, pen and paper. Here we go. We're moving right along because I know that time is more valuable than money. You don't have time to be sitting around trying to learn something and watch 87 modules, and I don't have time to teach you 87 modules. So we just gonna get straight to the nitty gritty, okay? The second strategy, the zero misleading claim strategy, okay? This is how you win customers without having to talk about how much money you did or didn't make, or how many pounds you did or didn't lose, okay? And I say that because once you understand who your target is, you'll probably start to look around and you'll start to see everyone else who's more successful than you, everyone else who's lost more weight or has gained more muscle than you, everybody who's made more money than you. And so you'll start to feel that imposter syndrome kick in and start to think, well, why would somebody listen to me instead of them? Does that make sense? Like, why would someone want to come to me when I don't even have that many results to show yet? Okay. So here's the steps in this particular strategy. Number one, you have to figure out what their problem is. Number two, show them that you understand. And number three, give them the solution. Okay. So let's break that down. Because at the end of the day, we all started at day one. For me, back in May of 2024, I only had a couple hundred followers on my TikTok account. Regardless of how you found me now, however, whenever you're watching this, who knows? But I only had a couple hundred followers, and that was on May 3rd. Okay, I have screenshots and receipts to show everything. On May 3rd, I only had 201 followers, but by May 9th, I had already made my first 500 bucks. And by June 9th, 30 days later, I had already made my first $3,000. Okay, and it's been a whirlwind since then. Okay, now that did not come without effort. I'm not telling you this is a get rich quick type of thing. I had to post all throughout April, getting the $0 days, the zero leads, the zero zeros to finally get that first $500 day, to finally get that first $1,000 day, to finally get that first $2,000 day. And so, if I'm not ever going to try to play God and tell you what's going to happen for you, but I just want you to think for a moment, if you could finally figure this out, and you could post for, let's say, 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, 120 days. If by the end of the year you had this figured out and you perfected it to as much as you can for you and your business, just imagine what it would look like by the end of the year, by Christmas, if you could finally have your first $500 day or your first $10,000 month. Okay. So I don't want you to think like how I did when I first started and gave up. I don't want you to think that within the next 30 days, if you're not net positive $50,000, then you're not doing it right. That's not how it works. Sometimes success takes time and practice so that you can continually make progress and eventually get to that point. Okay. I like to ramble. Okay. I ramble. So let's get to the business. Okay. So number one, you have to identify the problem. So we found who our target audience is, right? What is it that they're struggling with? What problems are they having in life right now? And if you can't think of any problems, think of who you were before you started whatever it is that you started. Before you found this solution that you stumbled upon, what thoughts were going through your head? What were you struggling with in life? What did day to day look like for you? Because there are hundreds of thousands of other people out there who are thinking that exact same way. Then once you do, you need to let them know that you understand it. And you can do that by like sharing your story, by just like pointing out the fact that you know exactly what they're feeling and saying it in a way that they know, oh yeah, she's not making that up. She knows exactly what I'm saying. Or he's living a life similar to how I was. He knows exactly what I'm going through, right? Because people don't buy from people who they don't think understand them. People don't you have never gotten something from someone who claimed they could help you without them first proving to you that they really understood what you were going through. Does that make sense? And so, like, let's say you went to a doctor and you told them what you were what was going on, but if the doctor prescribed you something that had nothing to do with what you just told them, then you would no longer think that doctor was credible. You need to let people you need to act like the doctor, not in like a literal sense. Like, don't be trying to prescribe stuff to people. That's not what I mean. But act like the person who's listening to their problems and prescribing them the perfect solution based on what they just told you, not based on what you in your mind was just like, oh yeah, just do this, you'll be fine. Then they won't listen to you, they won't respect you, and they won't truly feel like you listened to what they were going through. Does that make sense? If maybe you're not like me, maybe you've never experienced this, but I can tell you, I've gone to doctors where I can tell they listen to every word. I felt completely heard. And I've also gone to doctors where it felt like they already had it made up in their mind what they wanted to prescribe me. And they didn't listen to nothing I just said. Okay. And so you need to be the first person, be the one that actually understands what people are going through and expressing, like repeat it back to them. Be like, okay, so what I heard you say is, so that they know for a fact you know exactly what they're going through. And then once that happens, once they trust you enough to be like, okay, he knows what I mean, she knows what I mean, then give them the solution. Boom, bang, pow. Ideally, your solution would be your digital product. Okay. So, for example, you can do this by telling your story. You can do this even if you don't have any results yet. Maybe you don't have any hefty screenshots to show people. You don't have any of those things. That's okay. So maybe you accomplish this by telling your own story, just sharing what life looked like before and what it looks like now. How has your mindset changed? How has your bank account changed, if it's changed at all? How has your perspective changed? Sometimes the transformation is merely just a transformation of the mind before it's a transformation of the bank account. Does that make sense? And there are so many people out there who do not believe that it can happen for them because they are still stuck in the old way of thinking that all of us have been raised to think. And so just by showing them, I used to think like that too, and here's what I think now, that alone can change some people's minds, okay? Or you can even just share the facts. Share the facts of whatever your strategy or whatever product it is that you have. Share the facts of what it can look like or what they can accomplish once they follow that same strategy. So, like, for example, I'm a firm believer that if you're going to actually be successful with something, then you have to continue to invest in your knowledge. You got to surround yourself by people who are also doing what it is that you want to do. And so I got into this mastermind with these very successful people. And there's this woman in there who, similar to you and I, she had to start somewhere too, right? And so she was in health and fitness and she was on her own health and fitness journey, but at the same time, she wanted to help other people too. And in her journey, she had only lost 10 pounds. And so she felt as though she felt like an imposter. Like, how in the world could I teach other people something when I still got another 50 pounds to go. I haven't even reached my goal yet. Right. And so her mentor, who happened to be Myron Golden, told her, well, why don't you just help the people who aren't where you are yet? I always like to tell people on a scale of 1 to 10, maybe you're not a 10 yet. Depending on how my camera's looking, maybe you're not a 10 yet. Maybe you're only a 3. You can still reach back and help the 1s and 2s. Does that make sense? So what does she do? She reached back and helped the 1s and 2s. And she built a $1 million business teaching people how to lose their first 10 pounds. She didn't claim that she could help them lose 100, but at the very least, if you were someone that was struggling to lose 10, she could absolutely help you do that. She fixed her messaging to target those people specifically, and she just used her own story and her own experience, and she built a $1 million business doing exactly that. So I'm telling you, if you really hone in on understanding people and what they're going through, spend more time obsessing over their problems than they do, then you can absolutely be successful, even if you don't feel like you're an expert or you have a whole lot going on yet. Does that make sense? So if you're someone who's just getting started out, or if you're someone who doesn't have any massive results yet, or maybe you're someone who you're creating your own product and so you don't have very many testimonials or a big track record to show people yet, or if you're just someone who you got most of those things, but you just want to take your results to the next level, then either way, that strategy will still work for you. So just a little recap. Number 1, identify what problems your target audience is going through. Make sure that you understand it and they know that you understand it. And number 3, give them the solution, which hopefully it would be your digital product. Okay. Now moving on to number 3, because remember we said, listen, we got to get it moving, get it moving. Number 3, the third strategy is my anti-competition formula. And this is how you're going to stand out in a crowded market and be the first person that people run to and not have to worry about who else is selling the same or similar things to you. Okay. First and foremost, I want to say, stop scrolling. Because remember how I talked about multiple times now how good TikTok's algorithm is? It's so good that if you stop and watch someone else who's more successful than you, then you will see everyone who's more successful than you. Okay? Because the algorithm is going to keep feeding you more content that looks like what you just stopped and watched. So first and foremost, stop scrolling. I always tell my mentees, if you've been scrolling for more than 10 to 15 minutes, you've been scrolling too long. And if you were scrolling, hopefully it was only for research purposes on the next piece of content that you're about to create. And I will tell you though that I also only teach methods that I have tried and have tested for myself and that are still proven to work. So like I made this extra burner account that I don't actually post on. I literally only posted like 3 or 4 posts on it just for research purposes. The very first video that I posted on there, not only did it get over 700 views, but that was with only 10 followers. The third video that I posted on there, listen to this. The third video at this point, and still to this day, I only have 30 followers on there. The third video is already over 7,000 views at this point. Okay. So I'm telling you, you don't need the followers. You don't need the wild results. You don't need any of those things if you actually understand how to use the platform that you're on. If you know how to take advantage of that algorithm and work with it as opposed to working against it, then you can still absolutely be successful. Okay. And so whenever you do follow these same strategies, then you'll understand how to get your videos categorized. You'll understand how the algorithm can actually help you get to where you want to. Because if we're being honest, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, all of those platforms, they only exist because of creators. They only exist and make the amount of and generate the amount of income and users and watchers that they do because of creators. With that as a fact, the algorithm wants you to go viral. It wants to show your content to other people. It wants to have other things that it can use to make their customers and their viewers happy, which just so happen to hopefully be your viewers as well, right? And so if you understand how to use the algorithm and give it the points that it needs so that it knows who you're talking to, then you guys can work together and you're creating the content and it's like, all right, cool, that's what you made. Let me go show it to the person that needs to see it. However, if you don't know how to actually get into the algorithm in the ways that you're supposed to, then although it's waiting for you to put something out, it will never push it out to as many people as it could have because it didn't fully understand what it was that you were talking about in the first place. Does that make sense? And so you can't just make just random videos hoping that one day you'll go viral, hoping that one day it'll work, because it won't. You need a strategy. And then thirdly, the way that you stand out from the competition is literally just being you. Put you in your story. Obviously it is your story if it's about you. So put in your content is what I meant. In your content, insert your story. In your digital product, insert your story. Anytime you're talking about your business, relate it back to you. Because that is the one and only way to stand out. When there's over 5 billion people on these social media apps and there's the competition can be fierce, every people will come to me and be like, is the market oversaturated? Every market is oversaturated. So the only way that you can stand out and get past the fact that there are other people doing the same thing as you is by being you. There's no one else out there that looks like you, sounds like you, has had your childhood, has overcome life in the ways that you have, has that same unique perspective on the exact same topic as other people. You are already beautifully and wonderfully made exactly how you were supposed to be in the eyes of whoever you believe created you. So the moment that you stand 10 toes down on that and you recognize I am the only me and there's no one else that can be me like me, then there's no one else that can replicate what it is that you're doing, even if they have the exact same products, the exact same service as you. And that's the way for your tribe to find you. That's the way for the people who are interested in someone like you. That's the only way that they can find you is if you get on here and be you. If you need to go block friends and family, if you need to go block your coworkers, block Becky from high school so that she can never see you. If your name is Becky, I'm not talking about you. But get on here and be your most authentic self so that people have the opportunity to actually get to know you. So that people can actually see who it is that you're meant to be. A lot of people come across my page and they'll be like, you know what? I've seen a lot of people talk about digital products before, but none of them have ever talked about it like how you do. None of them have actually, I've never resonated with anyone before until I found your page. There are going to be people that tell you almost verbatim the exact same thing. Okay. Because they're already out there. Remember, we're talking to the people that are already looking for a solution. They're out there. They know they have a problem and they just wish that someone could understand them in only the ways that you could because you've been there. But no one will ever know that if you aren't out here being you. If you're trying to fake it till you make it, or if you're trying to look like and replicate someone else when it's not actually you, then there's no way for those people to ever find you. They're there, but they just don't know that you're there yet. Does that make sense? So just a little recap. Number one, stop scrolling. Number two, learn how to use the algorithm in the ways that it's supposed to. Each one works differently. In my opinion, TikTok's is the best. And number three, make sure that you actually put yourself and build your brand around you so that there won't be any competition because the people that are meant to be for you will be for you. Sometimes for like research purposes, I'll go on TikTok and I'll scroll and look at people's lives, people that are in my same niche, in my same industry, right? And I'll look to see who's engaging on in their life, who's in the room, and I'll click on their profile pictures just to see if that person is also following me. And you want to know what I found? 99.9% of the time, none of the people that are engaging with them are also following me. What does that mean? That means that although me and the other creator might be talking about something similar, maybe even something the exact same for those of y'all that are affiliates for other courses and programs, even though we are talking about something similar, the audience that we have each attracted are completely different. The same will be true for you. You can talk about the same thing or something similar as someone else, but as soon as you build the brand around you, you will not attract the same people that they attract. Therefore, you can be selling the same thing and still be successful. The people that are meant to run to you or your tribe will come and find you and huddle around you as opposed to someone else, all because you are you. Does that make sense? Hopefully I beat that enough to where you like it really like embedded into your brain. Okay. So I wanna ask, if you just follow these three strategies, I want you to ask yourself, do you feel like you could actually be successful? And let me just recap in case you're like, oh my gosh, it's been going so fast. Let me read my notes. Just a little recap. The first strategy was my buyer shortcut system so that you could spot the people who already want what it is that you have. The second strategy was my zero income claim strategy. So that way you know how to win over customers and get them to trust you, even if you don't have any crazy screenshots yet or crazy results yet. And number three was my anti-competition formula so that you can actually stand out in a crowded market and be the first choice that people run to, as opposed to them going to your competitors, all because you are you. Okay, so that's just like a little recap of what we talked about so far. But I do want to ask you a question, because I know that up until this point, there are a lot of people that got what they needed and they're good, they're ready to take off. However, I do also know that there's probably someone who feels like I just sprayed them in the face with a water hose, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, I'm overwhelmed. I have no idea. I feel like I'm drowning at this point." Right? So, if you're okay with it, I wanna throw a life jacket out to somebody. I wanna throw a raft out there to help that person that feels like they're overwhelmed, that feels like they're drowning, and really wishes that they have like a clear cut strategy, so that way they can actually get in front of those people who already want what they have, but they just haven't figured out how to get in front of them yet. Okay, I'm a firm believer that you already have everything you need inside of you to be successful, but we just need to take some time to pull it out of you, so that way you can fully and or finally get to where it is that you want to go, because most people, what I have found, that most people won't actually implement what they learn. So a lot of you have listened to this up until this point, and you probably learned a lot. Whenever I'm on like TikTok live or something, most of the time people, I'll ask them to let me know if they got any gems so far, if they've learned anything so far. And most of the time they're throwing gems like crazy, because they're like, I just blew their socks off, right? Maybe that's you, maybe not. Maybe you're a professional, you're a millionaire already. You got this covered and you don't need me. That's okay. But regardless, most people don't actually implement what it is that they learn. And so if you're someone that's ready to hit the ground running and you want like a more clear cut strategy so you don't have to figure this out by yourself, I want to let you know a little bit about my community, so that way you know that the resources are available to you. I would be remiss. I would be doing you a disservice to not let you know that I do have extra resources that can help you outside of this masterclass. Okay. And that is my community called Rapid Digital Product Mastery. Emphasis on the word rapid, because we like to get quick results. Time is more valuable than money. And so the way that I created this is because before I started selling digital products, I used to be an AI trainer, which, if you don't know what that is, every chat GPT, every bot, everything that's ever been created that you see all over the internet and all over every app at this point, humans had to teach that app to do what it does, right? And so I used to be one of those humans that taught AI how to do what AI does. Okay. There are hundreds of thousands of people that do the same thing, but I ended up being like a what most people will call a manager, I guess you could say, where I was not only training the bots, but I was training the people who were training the bots. Okay. So all of that to say, I know my way around AI. We're not doing no prompts where it's just like, write me a meal plan. Horrible, trash, not how you do it. Okay. I teach people how to actually be successful with prompts that will make AI give you results that you never even thought that it could do, because you just didn't know the right words to put in it first. Okay. So I took that knowledge and mixed it with digital products, and reached back to help the people that didn't know that this was a thing, and created Rapid Digital Product Master. Or maybe they knew it was a thing, but they didn't know how to like really do it. Like, really, a lot of people have created a lot of things, but most people that come to me, they're like, I created a digital product with Chat GPT and I have no idea how to sell it. For some reason, I'm not getting leads or sales or anything. And I'm like, well, you may have missed a couple steps along the way, right? So in here in Rapid Digital Product Mastery, you'll be able to create digital products effortlessly. You'll be able to make sales without having to have a huge following, and you'll learn how to like automate and scale your business, so that way it'll be running in the background and you don't have to be constantly on your phone making this thing work. Not only as a beginner who needs to make their first couple sales, but also as people who have made a few dollars, but now they're ready to they want to be one of those people that's left their 9 to 5. They want to be one of those people that have tripled, quadrupled their annual salary and have made more income than what they even knew was possible on the internet. Okay. So you'll Instead of having all that, you won't be confused or overwhelmed anymore in this digital product space. You won't keep wasting your time on things that are not working for you clearly, and you won't have a fear of failing or not being good enough, because you'll actually understand how this all works so that you can do it yourself. Okay. So like for myself, I went from having a graph, like a money graph, to where it was just like zero, 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 to now I'm constantly almost every day getting sales, getting leads, getting income, making income that I didn't even know was possible. Like making $500,000, $2,000 days, saving hours and hours worth of time. I just want you to do the math in your head right quick. How many hours would you have to work at your job to get $1,000? There are people like myself who are out there doing that in a day, in an hour, right? You can be one of those people too if you take the time and effort to follow the strategies that are actually going to work. I'm not talking about posting 3 times a day, going live 6 times a day, and then in 6 months, you still have nothing to show for it. That's not what we're doing here. Okay. And I know a lot of people where that is exactly what has happened to you. You've been doing all the things, but none of it has been working. Okay. So everything that I've learned in the past 13 months and spent over 20 grand to not only invest in courses and programs and mentorships and masterminds and all the things so that I can continue to elevate my skills and learn it the hard way. I pour all of that into Rapid Digital Product Mastery, or RDPM, so that way you can learn it the fast way. Like my girl Ashley, whenever she got in here, she said that she had multiple digital marketing courses before she got into RDPM. And within her first 3 days, she learned more than what she had learned in the previous year through either one of those courses. And the resources that I give you guys inside RDPM, she felt that it was way more than either of her past 2 mentors had ever given her. And in her words, if she had these things in the beginning, then she felt like she would be so much farther. Or like my girl Kita, who she felt like this was exactly what she was missing throughout her journey. Okay. So first and foremost, you'll have RDPM. And to make sure that you actually set yourself up for success, I'm also going to give you my profitable niche formula. So that way, I mean, you and I both know that the buyers are there. At least at this point, you know that there are buyers, but you just didn't know how to get in front of them yet. So we're going to make sure that you understand how to get in front of them. Most people don't sell digital products because they have maybe too many ideas, or they think that they have the perfect idea, but for some reason it didn't work. So instead, we're going to make sure that I'm going to show you how to use ChatGPT and AI. So that way, if you don't have an idea, or if you don't know who your buyers are, you don't know who your target audience is, or maybe you think you do, but you need to refine it a little bit better, I'm going to show you the exact prompts that you need to put into ChatGPT. So that way it fully understands your story, your background, and all the things. So that within the next 30 minutes, you will have a clear strategy and you know exactly which direction you're going to go. Okay. So that way you'll be able to find buyers and they will know exactly where you are. You will finally have exactly what customers are already searching for. You got to know what they're looking for if you want to actually get in front of them. You'll know if you don't have a digital product idea yet, you'll know exactly what digital product to create to make sure that you have the best chance of being successful. And again, all of this takes less than an hour. And depending on how much time you want to dedicate to it, it could take you 30 minutes or less. It all depends up to you. Okay. So like my girl Kiana, whenever she came in here, she was one of my people who had maybe like too many ideas, and she had been trying to figure this out and trying to get her ideas out on paper and turn it into something tangible for quite some time. And whenever she went through here, she said in her words that she finally felt like she was on the right path. Or my girl Nakenya, she said that since she's joined RDPM, it not only helped her find her niche, but she also had a community that was finally helping her be successful. And after multiple courses and programs that she tried before, she finally felt like she was in the right place and had a clear strategy on how she can make this work for her. Okay. So you have RDPM. You also have my profitable niche formula. And at this point, you're probably thinking, so what do I do once I find these buyers, right? Like once I know exactly who it is I'm going to be talking to, what do I do next? Okay. And in truth, most people don't actually know how to attract or connect with buyers in their content. So I'm going to give you 6 weeks worth of content that's already written out for you, specifically without having to have any crazy income claims or anything like that. So, and it's already strategized out for you, because most people don't actually know what to post. A lot of times it's kind of like you're throwing spaghetti at the wall and hoping that one day it sticks, hoping that one day you go viral. But it's so much easier whenever you actually have a clear strategy of what to do. Now, before you ask, Remember how I told you earlier that you have to be yourself if you want to stand out? Whenever I just told you that I was going to give you 6 weeks worth of content, you may have been one of the people that was thinking, well, if you made it for me already, won't I sound like everybody else? No, it's not a copy and paste. Although I would like to make it easy for you, make it copy and paste. We can't do that if we want you to stand out. So instead, I've already got the strategy laid out for you, and it's more like a here's your hook for your tribe to find you. Then give me this one sentence of your story. Give me this one sentence about your product, and let's wrap it up by saying this. 6 weeks of content like that, so that way you can actually start to attract the right buyers and not other people that are in your niche that are not your buyers, not your peers. That way you're able to stand out and share your story in a way that actually connects with people. And no, this isn't a PLR product. I know that there's other PLR products out there or private label rights products out there where they give you a bunch of content and hooks and stuff like that. This isn't that either, okay? I made this from scratch, from my experience for you, so that way you can actually be successful. And more than just the 6 weeks of content, it helps you identify a lot of the mistakes that people make so that you don't have to make it too. So like how I mentioned earlier, my girl Shamiga, before she even finished this, after months of trying and failing, after whenever she got in here, before she even finished it, she got another sale. And she felt like she was so grateful and a little bit emotional, rightfully so. When you're out there posting, and it's not working, whenever it finally does work, the amount of stress that leaves your body because it's finally working, that's a very emotional thing, right? So anyways, you're going to have RDPM, my entire program, my entire community. You'll have my profitable niche formula, so you know exactly where to find your buyers or how to create a digital product that has the best chance of success. And then you also have 6 weeks of content, so that way you know exactly how to reel people in and bring them to you. But then I don't want to just tell you what to say, but sometimes it's not just what you say, but it's how you say it, especially when you're on social media. So I'll also give you my content to cash strategies that teach you how to actually get more leads, how to get more engagement, how to get more sales, all the things. And this isn't me just like throwing out some theory out there for you, like how you see people on social media where they claim to be gurus and know what they're talking about, but they're not actually doing any of the things. Like they go viral by teaching you how to go viral, right? No, that's not this. Like I've had videos that have had over 66 million views, over 16 million views, over 5 million views. I've gone viral more times than I can count. I've already made over 1,000 social media posts online to learn what's working in 2025. Okay. This isn't no outdated strategies that people have been trying to teach you since 2022, 2021. That doesn't work anymore. This is stuff that's updated that works now in 2025. So you'll learn how to turn your content into consistent sales. You'll learn how to work with the algorithm. Remember, we talked about that before, working with the algorithm and not against it. If you're someone that's stuck in the 200 view range, you'll finally learn how to get out of it. You'll have the clear strategies or the proven strategies that help you gain followers, leads, engagement, sales, all the things. And you could be seeing results as soon as your very next post. Like my girl Natisha, she started a brand new account, and her very first video that she posted on there with no followers got over 6,000 views. And she's gone viral multiple times since then. My girl Bahar, she had been stuck in the 200 view range, like maybe you have been if you've already been posting, and she only did 2 videos following my perfect 60-second video script, like how I show you guys, and both of those videos got her out of the 200 view jail within 24 hours. So I'm telling you, if you follow exactly how I show you, you can absolutely start to get in front of your people, get the views, get the engagement, get all the things. Okay, so you're going to have RDPM, my profitable niche formula, so you know how to find your buyers. You'll have 6 weeks of content, so that way you fully understand how to attract people. And once you attract them, you'll understand how to actually turn that into engagement, into leads, into sales, all the things. Okay, but then you're probably wondering, so what do I do when people actually start to reach out to me, right? Because if you use these strategies, they will absolutely start reaching out to you. And I don't want you to be like most of us where you run them off because you're just so excited. Oh my gosh, somebody just reached out to me. Do you want the link? Are you ready to buy now? Do you want it? Do you want it? Do you want it? And you'll run them off. So instead of instead of doing that, I laugh because I did this a lot in my journey, and I'm thinking of all the people that I've coached and mentored who were doing this exact same thing. So it's, listen, if that's you, it's okay. We're going to learn better. Okay. So I'm going to give you my anti-salesy conversation techniques. And this is so that you'll learn how to talk to people without feeling like a sleazy car salesman or without feeling like you're trying to convince somebody. So that way, whenever you reach out to people, they won't give you the stank face, and they won't, feel like this girl is just trying to take my money and leave me. Like they won't look at you like that, because you'll actually understand how to turn your DMs into sales without it feeling like you're selling. You won't have any more awkward conversations or trying to guess on what you're supposed to say to people. You'll know how to take people from the comment section to the link so that they can buy something from you, or from the DMs to the link so they can buy something from you. Or and they are like, these are copy and paste scripts, so that way you don't have to think too hard about it. Of course, I always say, still say it in your own words, because how I talk may not be how you talk. I've got a lot of people that are international, from all different walks of life and all different parts of the world. So obviously not all of us talk the same. So I still say it in your own words, but if we do talk the same and it sounds like you, then you can absolutely just copy and paste them, because they're already written out. There's hundreds of them for every different scenario. So that way you understand how to actually talk to people without sounding salesy. So again, you're going to have my entire course and community, Rapid Digital Product Mastery. You're going to have my profitable niche formula, so you can find the buyers, 6 weeks worth of content so you can actually attract the buyers. My content to cash strategy, so you know how to turn them into leads, how to work with the algorithm, how to do all the things. And then my anti-sales conversation techniques, so you know how to take them from the DMs to actually buying from you. But I'm not done. I'm not done, okay? Because I don't want you to actually go through this journey alone. I know that a lot of times in the online world, it can get very lonely. It can start to feel like nobody can relate to you. I don't know. Maybe you're not like me, but for me, I don't have anybody in my real life or in my immediate circle that's also selling digital products or is trying to make any type of online business, for that matter. And so it can start to feel very lonely. Or you I don't want you to be like one of those people where you're wasting time, you're wasting money, you're getting ghosted by mentors, you're getting all of those things. You probably have seen or heard of or been through all of those different types of scenarios. So instead, I have an entire no friend left behind system so that you continually get support. We have weekly office hours and expert guidance directly from me. It's not like you go in there and you'll be by yourself trying to figure it out. Remember, I went through that already. That's not how we do it. So you'll still have me directly. And then plus other people inside the community that are successful as well. So if you're having a bad day, go post about it. And it won't just be me encouraging you. There'll be 20 other people that are encouraging you. Whenever you have a win to show for, I always teach my people 1% better each day is still progress. Whenever you have something that you're excited about, come tell us, so that it's not just me saying good job, but you got 20 other people that are telling you how amazing you are, right? Sometimes we need that little pat on the back to keep us going, to keep us motivated. We have monthly challenges, so that way we can be competing. Sometimes we have prizes and different things, so that way you can hold yourself accountable and be have that full community feel. I have hands-on worksheets in there. So if you're someone who doesn't just want to watch me do it, and I also show you like click by click what to click on, but maybe you're one of those people like me that's a little bit old school. You want to write it out, print that thing out and write down your thoughts. Cool. We got worksheets in there for you as well. You'll have personalized feedback directly from me. Sometimes we do social media audits, so that way I can look directly at your profile and give you exact advice for you and your situation and what you have been posting. So in the entire community, it's completely free. So it's not something extra that you have to pay for. Once you're in, and you won't have to feel lost or alone on your journey anymore. Okay. So just a little recap, you'll have my entire course and community, Rapid Digital Product Mastery. You have my profitable niche formula, so that way you actually know how to find the buyers and who they are and how to get in front of them. You have 6 weeks of content, so that way you attract them to you. You'll have my content to cash strategy, so you know how to work with the algorithm, so it can be doing the heavy lifting for you. You'll have my anti-salesy conversation techniques, so you know how to talk to people without feeling like a sleazy car salesman, to turn your conversations into sales. And you'll have my entire no friend left behind system to make sure that you are not doing this alone. So I just want to ask, okay, all of that. I just want to ask, if all this did was finally give you a clear step-by-step system so that you could finally create and sell digital products, so that way you don't have to waste any more months or years guessing to figure out how this would work, do you think it would be worth it? Because in theory, if I were to price all of this to how it should be priced, this is well over $1,500 worth of stuff. If all it did, hypothetically, if it was $1,500, it's not, but if it was, would it be worth it if you can finally figure this out? If all it did was prove to you that you don't have to be an expert, you don't have to have a huge following, you don't have to be tech savvy to make this work, because the real key to success is actually having a clear strategy and not actually being somebody special, because none of us are special. We're all human. We all bleed the same color. If you could finally figure out how to make this work for you, would it be worth it? Or if all this did was just eliminate the struggle of not knowing where to start or what to sell or how to actually make money online so that you can actually so you can stop spinning your wheels and stop looking at all these side hustles trying to figure something out, and so you could actually start seeing results so that by Christmas, that's right around the corner at this point, because time is moving crazy. I don't know about you, but time is moving so fast. So that by Christmas you can finally have this worked out. Just imagine if this summer your online digital product business could be the thing that's funding those vacations. If by whenever school starts back up, if your online business is the thing that's buying the new shoes and clothes and all the things for your kids, or getting that car for your kid whenever they go off to college, if your digital product business could be the thing that funds the biggest Christmas that your family has ever had, would it be worth it? Because for me, I only had two choices. One, I could keep trying over 25 different side hustles that I had tried. This is side hustle number 26. I could keep spinning my wheels. I could allow my family to go bankrupt. I could allow my husband to literally kill himself from working so hard. Or option number two, I could take one last chance on myself so I could finally figure out how this whole online thing works. So I could finally figure out how to become one of those people that is making the amount of money that most of us can only dream of. Those were my two options. So what would it be worth to you to actually learn how to make this thing work for you? If you made an extra 500 a month, would that be cool? Like, what if you made an extra 2,000 a month? What if you made more than that? Or what if you became like myself and like countless others that I've mentored and seen in this online space that was able to leave their 9 to 5 altogether? Start small, but dream big, right? Because not deciding is still a decision, just so you know. So really what it means is that you would be missing out on income that you could have had. You'll be wasting time still trying to figure this out, because I know that once you leave this masterclass, you're still going to try to figure out how to sell digital products. So do you want to take extra time the next 6 months to try to figure this out? Or do you want to have it figured out within the next 6 weeks? Or even really within the next few days, depending on where you're at in your journey? Because if you decide not to do it, you could keep the frustration and regret. And remember, I told you like how Myron Golden says time is more valuable than money. We're very arrogant to think that we're promised tomorrow, let alone promise the next 6 months to figure this out. The quicker that we can get to the dream result that we want, the longer we have that we can actually enjoy it. I'll say that again. The quicker we can be successful, the longer we can enjoy that success. We don't have time to be wasting to try to figure this out. And we don't have time to keep scrolling and watching all of these tens of 20s of however many people you've scrolled across. Hopefully not too many, because I told you don't be scrolling too much. But you don't have time to keep watching everybody else be successful when it could be you too. So in reality, this $1,500 worth of stuff for most people, it would be $497. But because you've watched this far and because you've listened to me ramble this long, you can get started today for just $197. Get everything that we already talked about. So what you need to do right now is just click the link below. If there's a link somewhere around here, or reach out to the person that invited you here. So that way you can get started and get it for the deal before the price goes back up to the $497. Because most programs, listen, I've been around the way for quite some time. Most programs that I know you guys are seeing cost over $900. For me, I've bought programs that were $10,000 plus. So $197 is a steal. I know people that have gone out to eat and had a nice little weekend of fun that spent more than $197 in a single day and don't have nothing to show for it on Sunday when they go to church. Okay? Not nothing to show for it but some baggy eyes and a couple bruises. But even with those $900 courses and programs, they end up bombarding you with so much information that you still feel overwhelmed. You still don't have a clear direction on which way you're supposed to go. And so instead, now you have two choices. Now I'm going to put the ball into your court. Okay. I told you I had two choices back when. Now I'm going to give you two choices. Number one, you could do nothing. That's perfectly fine. No harm, no foul. You can take what you've learned here today, because I really did give you the tea. That wasn't theory. That was all strategy, all tea. I have people that listen to my free advice and learn more than what their mentor pays them to learn. Okay. So you can do that and implement it on your own. That's option number one. Or option number two, you can take everything that you've learned here and actually get the proper guidance along the way. So that way you know that you're going in the right direction and speed up your success. A lot of times people, I always tell people, you can be going 100 miles per hour, but if you're not going in the right direction, then you still won't be successful. You can be doing all the things, spinning your wheels, spinning, 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 and feel like you're supposed to be going fast, but going nowhere because you're stuck in mud, right? And so whenever you get in here, you're going to make sure that you're going the right direction. You're going to make sure that the videos you're posting are the right videos. You're going to make sure that the digital products that you have are the right digital products. So that way you can be successful faster. And Lord knows what Christmas could look like once you actually get this thing figured out. But I know that there's someone who's like on the edge and they're like, oh, I don't know because I've invested in so much before. I can't take any more losses. So here's what I've done for you. Because I, similar to you, I have a lot of courses, a lot of programs, a lot of digital products, a lot of the things. And almost all of them always say non-refundable because this is a digital asset and I can't recover it. So it's non-refundable, right? And I was tired of seeing that. I'm sure you're tired of seeing that too. So instead, I have an entire 3-day money back guarantee. So that way you can come in the community, you can learn, you can explore, you can get the guidance that you need for the next few days, ask questions, get answers, do all the things, come to the live coaching calls, all the stuff. And if you don't absolutely love it, then you will get every penny back. No questions asked. You could literally just say, Rye, send one word, refund. And I'll be like, all right. And click one button and send it all back to you. It's that simple. And that, I mean, I haven't actually had anybody who's taken me up on that offer because people that get in here, they actually love what's inside here. They know that I'm not all talk, I'm all about action. And whenever they get in here, they actually don't want their money back. But I just want you to know that if you're one of those people who's nervous about the investment and the risk, now at this point, there is no risk. You can get in and get everything you need. So the real question is, do you actually want to figure out this digital product thing or not? Like, do you actually want to start making passive income with digital products or not? And just a little recap of what you get. You'll have my entire course and community, Rapid Digital Product Mastery. You'll have my profitable niche formula to make sure that you can find the buyers and get in front of them. You'll have over 6 weeks worth of content that's already made for you. Plus, we use AI to get stuff done so much faster. So you're not going to be limited to the 6 weeks of content. You'll have plenty of ideas, but to get you started, I've already made you 6 weeks worth of content so that way you can actually get those people in your corner and attract your tribe. My content to cash strategy, so you know what to do with them once you find them, how to use the algorithm to your advantage to do the hard lifting, the heavy lifting for you. My anti-sales conversation techniques. So once they start reaching out, which they will, you know how to turn those conversations into sales. And my entire no friend left behind system to make sure that you're not in here alone. You're not doing this by yourself. But I just want to say, if you've made it this far, I got something extra for you because I don't just want to leave you there. I believe that success loves speed. And so if you are a fast action type of person, if you're like, you're ready to hit the ground running, you want results, you're taking this serious. I'm also going to give you access to over 500 done for you PLR products and over 8,000 faceless videos that are already done for you. PLR means private label rights, which means they're already professionally made. I have a whole team that makes them for me. You can literally go in and put your name on it and act like you created it. No one has to know where you got it from. Okay, wink, wink. And you can go sell it as your own. So that can just speed it up even faster. You don't have to create things from scratch because I can give you over 500 products that you can use of your own in dozens of different niches. So in the beginning, once you figure out what your niche is, go in there, you can grab one of these products, put your name on it, and then boom, you have something to sell within your first day, okay? Or if you wanted to create something yourself, I'll teach you how to do that too. So you'll have hundreds of PLR products. That's the first fast action bonus that I want to give you. But I'm not done yet. The next fast action bonus that I want to give you is my winning email templates that I use in my own business that have generated me thousands of dollars just by sending out a simple email. So that once you learn how to get everything automated, you get your store set up, you got your product listed, then your content will be attracting people on the front end, but then your emails and your automation system will also be hitting them on the back end. So that way you're hitting it from every direction to make sure that you have the best chance of actually being successful with this. That's how the people that you see that have left their 9 to 5 and now they get to do this for fun now, that's how you see them doing it because they're from every angle, okay? Whenever you if you think of it even from like a corporation level, most people don't know when Shein or Walmart or Target, whenever they're having sales, unless they check their email. your business can run the exact same way. And I've already gotten it written out for you. So that way you don't have to do it the hard way. But I'm still not done. I'm going to give you another bonus just for getting started today and just for believing in yourself enough to get started right now. I'm also going to give you 12 done for you mini courses so that you will have not only the PLR products that are already done for you, but also some mini courses that are done for you as well. You can sell these too. You can sell them one by one, or you can sell them as a bundle. It literally doesn't matter. Once they're yours, you can do whatever you want with them. So what you need to do right now is somewhere around this screen, there's a button that you can click on so that you can go choose your payment option. Yes, you can use Afterpay, Klarna, all the things. And for just $197 today, before the price goes back up, because it is going up in the community, I let them vote on what the price is. And they've already voted for it to go up. So right now, you can still get it at $197. You're going to get my entire Rapid Digital Product Mastery course and community. You'll have my profitable niche formula, so you know how to find the people that already want to buy from you. 6 weeks of content, so that way you know how to get in front of them and attract them to you. My content to cash strategy, so you know how to use the algorithm so that it can do the hard work for you. My anti-sales conversation techniques, so that way you know how to turn your conversations into sales. My no friend left behind system, so you can come into the weekly office hours. You'll have me, you'll have the community, you'll have everything, every resource and everything you need to be completely surrounded and submerged into this lifestyle so you can actually be successful. Even if you're working a 9 to 5, even if you're a full-time parent, even if you're retired, even whatever your situation is, you can work at your own pace to make sure that this works for you, not against you. And then whenever you get started right now, you'll get the first bonus, over 500 PLR products and over 8,000 faceless videos that you can be using in your content or that you can use to sell for yourself. No one has to know where you got it from. The second bonus is that you'll get my winning email templates to make sure that you can actually be successful from both directions in your business. And when you get started right now, clicking one of these buttons around this video, or going back to whoever invited you here, you'll get 12 mini courses that also have private label rights, allowing you to put your name on it and sell them as your own as well. Normally, this would be thousands of dollars worth of things that you can get right now for just $197. Whenever you get started today, I can't wait to see you on the other side. And if you have any questions, of course, you can always reach out to me or reach out to whoever it is that invited you here, and we'll be happy to answer. Hopefully, I'll see you on the other side so that by summer and by Christmas, you can be living an entirely different life. I will see you guys next time, and have a wonderfully blessed day.